Welcome, welcome. We are starting another episode of Full Metal Analysis. I'm Bruce Digging, so other co-host Marcus. Just a quick, the draft is coming up, 2024 NFL draft. Just been hearing a lot of predictions, so we just wanted to give our opinion on it. Before it comes up, right quick before we get to that, before we dive deep into it, I just want to ask you, Marcus. The Lions revealed their new uniforms this week. uh, for me personally, I mean, I like them. Let me put this disclaimer out there. I like them. I like the new uniforms. But I just thought, what I'm saying, with everything they were saying, oh, you're going to be real excited. I mean, the brand new Lions, I just thought that, they were going to be different. And then when they revealed them, it was like, the same thing, but just with a little, hits of different stuff here and there, which is cool, you know what I'm saying? And the uniforms are a lot brighter. They came out with a black version, but it was pretty much, I mean, the same thing. But what were your thoughts on
Yeah, I think they definitely overhyped it. I thought they were fine. I mean, I'm not a big uniform guy. I think that the one thing they could have did, like nobody really wanted, did anybody really want like a whole new uniform? So I just think they just took what they had and they cleaned it up a little bit, which is fine. But to your point, they went all in on the hype. They would have just been better served just saying, "Hey, we gonna bring back the black jerseys, and we can't wait to show y'all what they look like." The only problem that I really have for real though is that the black jerseys just look too much like the Carolina Panthers uniform to me.
Actually, they did somebody did a side by side of the somebody did a side by side of the Carolina jerseys, and when you put them side by side, they look different. So the Carolina color is a little faded. It's like more of a turquoise blue than the blue that we got, and they look different when you put them side by side. But I can see what you're saying.
Yes, and so yeah, like I said, I'm not a big jersey guy, but it's just I guess the black, bringing back the black, and I heard somebody said they ain't like the white and blue, but I like the classic, throwback look. I think that's a clean look. I think that's the vintage Lions look. So I think that was my favorite one that they showed.
I like the white. I thought they could have came out with what everybody said they weren't really they weren't really feeling the blue ones with the white with the blue pants, like you said. I felt like they could have came out because everybody said they don't like the grays. I felt like they could have came out with like a gray jersey, blue pants with blue numbers. I think that would have been cool. But and I like the, I thought that the helmet that they came with last year, I thought they was gonna incorporate that. But you know what I'm saying. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying. It's a great story that Dan what's his name? What Rod what's the
Rob
dude
Williams.
name? Yeah, he said he wasn't gonna he was done with the black. Dan Campbell said he wanted them back. And Rod Wood said go win the division and we'll bring them back, and they won the division, so that's why they back. So I mean that was a good story. But that's enough about that. Getting into this draft, these draft predictions, man. I feel like there's three routes. Of course, there are like three routes the Lions can go. First off, if the Lions were to trade up, for me, of course, I would like them to trade up to get Jared Verse or Wiggins or Wiggins to cornerback what was it, Nate Wiggins to get if they traded up, I feel like if they drop far enough down, then that would be a good trade up to get. I don't think that I'm not sure that either one of those will fall that far, but the drafts I've been seeing lately, they almost there in the realm. You know what I'm saying? They close enough where I feel like we could trade up and get one of those two guys. What about you?
I think that. yeah, a lot of the mock drafts, they kind of got all of the big names coming off the board, like 6, 7 picks, like consecutively before the Lions pick. So you probably would have to trade up and go get them. I fully agree with Nate Wiggins. Fully agree with Verse, and I'll even put Latu on there. I would be cool if they traded up to get him. Trading up is not my ideal route to go. That's probably like I mean, it's not far though. Like those guys, I'd be happy with those guys. It's just what would you give up? Like I really want to keep that second round pick, and I would preferably want to keep that third round pick. So if I could trade up and give up my first and a fourth and some other stuff, and maybe next year something, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a scenario that they do trade up. I'm not saying that that's what they're gonna do, but if one of those guys do fall that far, I mean, that far down, that close to us, then I would definitely want one of those guys on the team. Latu as well. He My only problem with Latu is that first off, I don't think he's gonna fall that far because he's projected for a lot of people as the number one uh edge off the board. It was Turner, but now a lot of people are putting Latu over him. So I don't think he's going to fall that far. And then, while you're more a stickler of the injured player, the neck thing just I don't know. It's just somewhere it just feels like I don't want to see the guy laid out in the middle of the field. You know what I'm saying? Carted off on a stretcher. Game 3 of the season.
I mean, what? Yeah, I mean, but that could happen with any player, his prior history or not. J-Mo's knee. We haven't said anything about J-Mo's knee. We haven't seen. People are chomping at the bit to see my guy. Tennessee quarterback we drafted last year,
Uh,
Hooker.
Hooker, yeah, Hendon
Yeah,
Hooker.
people are chomping to see Hooker. So that's if anything, yeah. If you got like a knee injury, prior knee injury history, you might see that pop up. But uh, I don't foresee anything happening to my man. Um, there's other. I'll put it like this. There's other injuries that scare me more than that. I would imagine. He probably put so much work into coming back that he probably tell you he got his neck is stronger than anybody else on the fields.
You might be right, man. I don't know. It's just something about hearing neck injury that just scares me. But you're probably right. Um, Other than that, man, I don't see a whole lot of other guys that I would trade up for. I hear about Quinyon Mitchell, but I don't think he'll be anywhere near our pick. And I don't see a whole lot of other guys. The second option would be to stay where we're at 29. At 29, I hear a lot of people saying Kool-Aid, of course. You know what I'm saying? I know that that would be one of your guys, but I would be okay with Kool-Aid, but lately the pick that I would probably think I would go with would probably be uh a D tackle, man. I'm feeling uh dang, I can never remember how to say his name. Marjan Newton.
Yeah,
Uh and uh and this guy, I know I was on the fence about Jalen Carter last year and the car incident, but this guy has had some trouble this year. Uh Damn, why I'm drawing a blank on him right now. Sweat.
Devondre.
Yeah, Tavondre Sweat, man. I was watching this tape, man, and man, he looks like he will be a good fit for us. I know he's had some trouble with the law, but one thing with Jalen Carter last year was it wasn't so much the car incident, then it was the reports about him having to be motivated to come to practice and him being motivated to get motivated to play, and him taking plays off during the game and stuff, stuff like that. It was more of a motivation thing than it was the trouble that he got into. But I think that I don't hear these reports about this guy. I watched a couple of his interviews. I like the way he interviewed, so I think he would be a good pick. And lastly, I think that Byron Murphy, but I don't think he'll make it that far. I don't think he'll make it down to us either.
Byron Murphy, what was it? What he a D tackle?
He's a D tackle. He's being compared to uh Aaron Aaron Donald.
Okay.
He play he plays with Sweat too.
Um, I can appreciate your fairness towards Sweat and your fairness towards Jalen Carter. Um, I don't think Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are gonna have your same level of acceptance. I'm sure they're gonna root for T'Vondre Sweat to be a great NFL player and a great human being going forward, but I don't think it's gonna be on the Detroit Lions. They haven't done anything. They've been here 3 years, and the most character guy that they took was CJ GJ, and we pretty much established that was off the strength of Aaron Glenn. So they haven't drafted any players that have come in with any type of baggage, and I don't think they're gonna break that for this, especially because Jerzon Newton, he was a lot of mocks had us taking him early in the process. You haven't been seeing his name as lately. If anything, you've seen him going a little bit higher than the Lions pick, but I imagine he would be there. I'd be interested to see if they do take him. I gotta look at him a little bit more. I did look at him one time, and I wasn't mad at it. You got that D tackle that I mentioned before, Braden Fisk. I just saw a mock draft that had him going to the Lions. Now I feel like if you grabbed him at that one spot, that would be a reach. But all that being said, I'm not really big on taking the D tackle with the first pick. If I had to take my choices for the first pick, if I had to use it, it's gonna be edge, corner, or offensive lineman. Like I said before, and I feel like ever since we did our pod, man, I've been hearing Zach Frazier's name everywhere. I feel like that guy would just be a great fit for the Lions. He would, he would be the protege under Ragnow. You could spell him as a guard in the meantime whenever somebody needed a blow or somebody got hurt, and he would just groom him to be your center for the future. Kool-Aid, of course, because I just need a long lockdown corner going into the future. And as far as edge, if they took Chop Robinson, I wouldn't be upset. Just before this pod, I know you was looking at him yesterday, but I was looking at Darius Robinson because I saw people but I've seen people mocking him to us at 29. And Darius Robinson leaves something to be desired. Like you said, he's a big guy, but he just don't like exactly how you said, man. Like he just don't seem like he's put it all together yet. Now he might eventually put it together, but just watching him doesn't excite you like it might watching some of these other DNs that's available in the draft.
I'm with you on the D tackle. I don't really want a D tackle at 29 either. But if those guys are there, then I wouldn't be mad at taking them. I saw this video right before we started that was saying guys that you really wouldn't want to take at 29. I mean that you really wouldn't want to take. And at 29, I really wouldn't want Darius Robinson or Chop Robinson. Not to say that they're bad guys. I think they are raw guys that need some developmental work. And I don't want to pick a developmental player at 29. Chop Robinson is a standout player, but he doesn't really have the stats. And when I was watching this film, he really didn't just I mean, he was okay. I mean, he was good, but he wasn't. He didn't give me that wow factor. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I was watching him and I was like, man, I gotta have that guy. And I was watching him. I was like, yeah, that guy's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Darius Robinson. He's on a lower, easy on an even lower tier to me than Chop Robinson. He's got all the physical attributes. I was watching his interview. He seems more like the Lions are into football guys. He seems like he's more of a basketball guy that just was like, well, I feel like I can make it better in football than basketball, and that's just the route he went. So I mean, yeah, those guys, I wouldn't if we took them at 29. I can't say I would be happy with that. If they fell to the second round and they were still around and they got them in, I probably wouldn't be mad at that. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. More so, uh, speaking of the second round, if the Lions move back, I think there are a lot more options to go. If none of those guys that we just mentioned are there, I can see the Lions trading back, and that gives you a few more options. If they do get a edge in the first round, I would like to see them grab a corner. You know me, I've been hyping up Rakestraw Jr. A lot of problems that people have with him is that he's kind of skinny, but he's a hard hitter, and I liked what I saw from his coverage. Also, I like the guy that you've been hyping up that you put me on, Max Milton, man, he looks good. I watched a couple of his interviews. He interviews well, down to earth guy, football guy. You know what I'm saying? Looks good. Uh, Luther Ellis wouldn't be bad in the second round, somewhere in the second round. I wouldn't be mad at that. So, or like you said, offensive lineman or I mean that wouldn't be the glamorous pick of offensive lineman, but I wouldn't be mad at a offensive lineman at 29 or a second pick. But I really want those first two picks to be a corner or edge.
Yeah, you pretty much hit it. My ideal, I've been saying this since day one. My ideal scenario is that the Lions trade back. You know, get whatever they can. And I would just love to see a DN in the first three rounds. I would love to see us, coming out with a defensive end, a cornerback, and an offensive lineman. Whichever round you get them in, it's not the end all be all for me. Like you said, I give it my guys. Rakestraw, I was looking at Rakestraw before this too. I know you've been hyping them up, so I looked at them before, but I just looked at them recently today again, and I don't know what it was, but yeah, I looked at him differently today. I would be okay with that pick. He has a slow 40 time for a cornerback, so that's the only thing I can really see why he's like. Cause I saw him as a second round, maybe third round pick. So I was trying to see what that was about because yeah, he has good coverage. He's a fiery guy, good tackler, physical guy. But yeah, I think that 40 time is the only thing that's got him lower than other cornerbacks. Max Melton, like we said, Cam Hart isn't the most exciting player, but I think he could develop into being a Pro Bowl type player. He seems like he has the pedigree to do so. I'm trying to think who else, but let me ask you, man. I don't know if you've seen him, but a lot of guys are hyping that Jackson Powers Johnson to offensive lineman, and nothing really, like you said, the offensive lineman ain't the most glamorous pick. When I look at offensive linemen, though, like I only pick offensive linemen that make me excited. That's why I like Zach Frazier so much. But Jackson Powers Johnson, I don't really see a whole lot to him that seems like, oh man, this guy is gonna be dominant. You did you check him out or no?
Slightly. I'm with you. I didn't really see a whole lot to get me excited about him, but I have heard his name a whole lot. Like he is like the toast of the town of offensive lineman. I keep hearing his name over and over again. But in most in most mocks, I hear him going to Green Bay right before he gets to us. He never really makes it down to us. That everybody always has him, just like Kool-Aid. Everybody always has Green Bay picking him up. So, but once again, the offensive lineman, man, I don't know, man. If they pick an offensive lineman, it would probably be more so they would have to pick him first, and then I would have to go back and make watch some more of their tape, do some more research, and then I would get a better idea of how I feel about it.
So let me ask you, in your let's say the first 4 rounds, what position would you love to see the Lions fill?
My dream scenario would be edge, cornerback, offensive lineman, D tackle, and then in the with their last pick, like in the 7th round or whatever, we still have one, or the 6th round, maybe a kicker.
Hmm. And then what's the highest you would be happy with taking a wide receiver?
Ah, damn, I missed a wide receiver. Oh man, that's a crazy question because there's a wide receiver out there that I saw. I wouldn't be mad at Braylon Rice, Jerry Rice's son, but I would say late 2nd round or 3rd round for him. I wouldn't be mad at Tez Walker in the 2nd round. I like what I saw for him, but he's a 2nd round pick for sure. And I'm on the fence about Keon Coleman, man, because I don't know if I want a receiver at 29, but if they got him at 29, I can't say I'd be mad at it.
Oh man, that'd be a hard pill to swallow for me. Took a receiver in the 1st round. Because then I was talking to somebody else and they brought up his teammate Johnny. I think it's Johnny Wilson. It's just Johnny Wilson or Johnny Walker, but Keon Coleman's teammate, Florida State, like 6'7", big guy, man. I saw Mike that had them going like 3 rounds three picks apart in the I want to say the 2nd round. For me, my draft mantra is you never take a receiver in the 1st round. It's not too many rules that I'm real hard on, but yeah, that's one of them. Just because the receiver position, I feel like there are so many receivers in the game of football, period, and you should be able to find somebody in outside of the 1st round. Unless obviously you have the Justin Jeffersons and your Jamar Chases, and apparently Marvin Harrison Jr. is supposed to be the next guy and all that. I understand that, but you could find Devontae Adams in the 3rd round. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 4th round. These guys are out there, so if you just look hard enough, you can find them. But third round.
The only reason I say that about Keon Coleman and Leggett and Leggett as well, but my problem with Leggett is that his style reminds me of J-Mo, so I don't think we need him. But Keon Coleman is a guy that goes up and gets the ball. When I was watching his highlights, he had so many contested catches that, and he's so fast, and he had so many contested catches that he came down with that I couldn't be mad at it. I still wouldn't want it. It wouldn't be my ideal pick, but it would it would add a dynamic to the offense with that hole that we're missing in the offense. And it's no telling, man. Like a lot of these things that I'm telling, like I've been listening to a couple of Alliance podcasts, and people have been reminding me that it may not be a thing, but we still we still have potential in JPJ. I mean J Donovan People Jones and Aaron Green. They could not turn out to be nothing, or they could step up their game this year. Same thing for the D tackle. I know I said I wouldn't be mad at a D tackle, but you can't forget that we just got DJ Reader. We still got Broderick Martin in his second year to see if he's going to step up and do something. And I think with Levi Onwuzurike and dang, what's the other dude name? Dude with the back injury. Um, dang, I went blank. But I think those two
Pascal.
guys are need to prove themselves this year. Um, so if any years to do it, because it's like prove yourself or you're out this year. So I think Levi Onwuzurike might step up and dang, why the fuck am I blanking on his name?
You talking about Houston or Pascal?
Oh,
Or,
Pascal. I think Onwuzurike, I think Levi and Pascal have something to prove this year. So I expect to see them step up.
yeah, I mean, you hope that it has the Derek Barnes effect, where Derek Barnes was borderline getting cut, and then they drafted my man out of Iowa, and it kind of put a little spark for Barnes, and you finally saw him show up, and all the coaches and GM Brad start raving about how he just came back ready to play, and they was glad to see it. So I mean, yeah, if hopefully you don't need to draft a player to get that spark, but at the same time, like that's why I'm a big Jonah Ellis fan. He's a guy that's got a injury history, but if the Lions draft Jonah Ellis, they're not drafting him to be an every down defensive lineman. They're gonna spell him with James Houston. They're gonna spell him with Pascal. You're gonna have a rotation, and he's not gonna need to play every down. So you will hope that would bode well for his health, and he will be able to stay on the field when you need him, and be ready when you call upon him. So I would be cool with that. I'm gonna ask you. I like to mess with you. So
Here you
on,
go.
on a scale of 1 to 10, I give you some names, and just give me on a scale of 1 to 10 your level of satisfaction with it. So with the 29th pick, the Detroit Lions select Cooper DeJean, cornerback out of Iowa.
5.
Mm. Um, yeah, I'm with you. 5 is probably where I'm at. There's a lot of different cornerbacks they could go, and Cooper DeJean, I know a lot of people are big on him, and they got him highly rated on the board, but I
Yeah,
just didn't
man.
see
I
it.
like people have been hyping up Cooper DeJean, man. I've heard a lot of videos talking about, oh, I would love to have Cooper DeJean, this, Cooper DeJean, that. I'm not seeing it, man. Like you know what I'm saying? I feel the same way I felt about Darius Robinson. He's okay. I mean, I keep hearing he's smart, but the plays that I saw, the ball just kind of, it wasn't like he made some great play on the ball. The ball just kind of came his way, and he caught it. And and he had some a couple of good returns, but no, other than that, it wasn't like he hawked somebody down or he came from the other side of the field and and snagged the ball out of the air, or he made some great defensive play, or he made a great break on the ball. He just kind of standing there, and the quarterback looked his way and threw the ball to him.
All right. So let me ask you, with the first pick they do whatever, but the second pick, say the Lions in the second round, they take a linebacker who was kind of one of those linebacker defensive end hybrids, that we never not that we never heard of, but just somebody that we weren't looking, just because they got that linebacker tag on them.
I can't say it would be ideal. I can't say I would love it or I would like it. It would depend on how they use him. Now, if he's gonna be one of those linebackers that they just use for straight rushing, like they just blitz him, they put him on the edge and he blitzes all the time. I can see myself wrapping my head around that and coming to like that, but just straight up, uh, probably like a 3.
I just bring that up just because I could see them doing that. Like I keep saying, I could see them just going linebacker, and I could see myself sitting there like, linebacker. Why would they go linebacker? And then afterwards, Brad Holmes goes up there and says, this guy, he's got a lot of tools. He's got a lot of athleticism. He's more than just a linebacker. We can move him all over the field. I could just totally see that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And then the other one, the last one I got is Lions have a heck of a draft, a lot of names that we familiar with. A couple of guys that we're real excited about, but at the end of the day, they come out of the draft and they don't take. Let's be fair, they take a corner in the 5th round.
Take a corner in the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say I wouldn't expect it because the thing that was a flag to me when Brad Holmes was speaking the other day is he said he didn't really like this cornerback class, man. He said this wasn't I think I heard him say that, or was he saying last year wasn't a good class? But I don't like I said, man, edge and corner, I feel like are a more immediate position. So grabbing one in the 5th round, I think that's kind of late. Unless he ends up being like a St. Brown type player, I don't think I would. I don't think I would really like that. You know what I'm saying? I think we need a corner way earlier than that. At least by the 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? I think the 3rd round will be my limit on when we should take a corner. You know what I'm saying? At least a round 3 guy. 5th round, that's more of a developmental guy. Somebody that needs a lot of work. Somebody that is there for competition to hype up the guys that we already got. One guy I wouldn't mind seeing. My only problem with him is the size, but I really loved him in college. Was I gotta say his name right because they say it's pronounced differently. Mikey Silstrom from U of M, man. Man, I used to love to see that guy on the field. He's a ball hawk. He was always around the ball. He's just Kevin Hart size.
I think with Sandra still is he's like a safety to me, and I mean, how many safeties? I feel like we already got so many safeties, even though we really don't. But I just feel like we got so many. I know we got Iggy. We still got Kirby Joseph. We just let go of 2 safeties and Tracy Walker and CJ GJ. We still got Brian Branch. And then you want to bring in, if they bring in Sanders still, it's like, he is a pocket knife defensive back, but I wouldn't be mad at that now you turning the tables on me. That would put me at like I would be like right in the middle on that one because as like you said, he is a ball hawk. He is a do it all type defensive back. He's definitely, he was a leader on that Michigan football team, which is all great. But at the same time, it doesn't address what I really want to see, which is a shutdown, a developmental shutdown corner.
Uh, what I was gonna say was I've been hearing a lot of I was hearing a lot of videos saying that because I didn't think we needed a safety either, man. But I've been hearing a lot of videos saying the opposite. Like we need depth at safety because we got Iggy, we got Kirby, and then after that with Brian Branch playing nickel, unless they make him an alternate, we don't really have any depth at safety. Um, I've been hearing rumors of Tracy Walker being back in town. He took a picture and posted it on his Twitter that he was back showing that he was at Detroit Airport, back in town in Detroit Airport. But nothing's come of that. But that is showing that they may be talking to him. But I wouldn't be mad at a safety. But if we did get a safety, I would want a safety in the later rounds. Now we got a safety at 5. That I would be okay with. But not earlier than that. I was thinking of Sandstro as like a slot guy. But
You pretty much answered you pretty much addressed every reason why I wouldn't want that pick. Because like you said, you got Branch who could play the nickel. At the same time, Branch can't play safety. You forget about we brought in Amik Robertson. That guy's supposed to be a slot guy. And then if you want depth, then I would much rather you go get Max Melton because Max Melton seems like he's a slot corner, but at the same time, he can play the outside. I think I saw a little bit of him playing on the outside, but yeah, if you need depth at the slot, then get Brian Branch out of there. Have Max Melton back up Amik Robinson, and there you go. But yeah, a safety. And then, like you said, Tracy Walker is. Nobody's picked up Tracy Walker as far as I know. So you got money, you still got cap space. You still haven't signed Jared Goff, so you still got plenty of cap space.
yeah, but I think the big 2 signings this year that are gonna eat up a majority of our cap space is after you sign, because you know how I feel about the Jared Goff situation, but I think I gotta accept the fact that they are gonna sign Jared Goff, and that's just gonna be my guy. Just so people don't think I'm a hater. That's gonna be my guy. But you know how I feel about it, so I'm not even gonna get into that. But they're gonna sign Jared Goff and they're gonna sign St. Brown. And from what I'm hearing, that's gonna be at least 75 mil. 75 to 77 mil. So that's gonna eat up a lot of your cap space. So after that, you just gotta be smart, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If they once they sign him, though, I'm not sure. Does that extension, um, does that automatically go into effect?
It depends on if they backload it. So they can give them those contracts, and depending on they will still get the same amount, but depending on when they want to sell it out, they can make it like they get 10 million this year and like 30 or 40 million next year. But you know what I'm saying, when that they can renegotiate the contract to whenever they want to take the brunt hit of the contract. Like they can make the contract be backloaded for where they get the majority of the money the last year of the contract, or they can split it up evenly. It just depends on what they work out with their agents.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. But I mean, last I heard, the Lions are like up there as far as cap room, and they haven't re-signed Golf yet. It could happen after this draft though, but at this rate, I'm just under the assumption they're gonna ride it into or they might do it right before the season. But and as far as St. Brown, you know, I'm not sure how they gonna handle all these extensions. We are under the assumption that it's going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't um I wouldn't
If they
draft a
did,
player. I wouldn't draft a player solely on well not I mean obviously not solely, but I wouldn't let that factor in, as far as the cap, whether or not I drafted somebody though.
no. I don't think the draft has anything to do with the contract extensions because whoever you draft is going to be on a rookie deal, and that has little effect on your cap. I mean, it has a slight effect on your cap, but nothing that's going to make you change any moves you'll make. But as far as who you bring in and what you're going to do after the draft, that signing Golf and St. Brown has a major effect on that because you're right. We do got a lot of cap room now, but after you sign Golf and St. Brown, that changes things dramatically.
Yeah, but if you ain't been signed by now, you're not about to break the bank with no deal.
Well, I don't know because both Golf and St. Brown keep saying that their agents are talking to them behind the scenes now, right now.
Oh yeah, no, I meant like a free agent. So like if you go out and you grab a
Oh yeah,
safety
yeah.
that hasn't been signed yet, that safety is just looking to play. So it's probably gonna be a 1 year deal, you know.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, but other than that, man, do you have any surprise? What you call it? I'm just gonna call them Brad home picks that everybody is overlooked, diamond in the rough picks that you think that could be picked in the third or fourth round. I don't really have a lot off top. I've been hearing guys' names, but I can't remember their names off the top of my head. But do you have any guys that you think that are surprise picks?
Nah, I was looking. I did want to. I was initially I wanted to come up with something that I could take to the fire and throw out there for the third round, but um, I edges I didn't really see a whole lot of. I looked at like 3, 4 different cornerbacks. Um, when I do my Brad Holmes, when I put my Brad Holmes helmet on, I always go to that to the Raz website for the athletic score, and there was a cornerback that they had going in the third round, um, who had the best score out of all the cornerbacks in this class, and he was going in the third round. I was like, okay, maybe we could do something with that, but it was. I can't even remember now. I can't even remember what it was. His name was like Jerryon. It was Jerryon, and it started with a J. I think I want to say he played for Ole Miss, but he had like the fastest. He had the fastest 40 time. He just didn't. When I watched his interview, and he just didn't strike me as a Lion. Um, and his tape didn't really stand out all that much to me. But like I said, he can say he's the most athletic corner coming out of this draft class. So that's something. But um, other than that, I didn't really see a whole lot, and I kind of just let it go. I was like, I just let Brad cook at that point.
Um, my last question to you would be, what do you think about a kicker in the late rounds? I've been hearing about this guy from the USC that's been kicking 64 field goal yards. Played for the Michigan Panthers. He's been kicking 64 yarders, but I heard he's not consistent from 42. Well, what are your thoughts on the kicker in the late rounds?
Not consistent from 42 sounds like a Detroit Lions pretty reckless. But I don't think they'll get that kicker. They did. I heard a report basically saying like he's under contract, so nobody's even supposed to be talking to him until the season's over. But by the time the season's over, the Lions are still, the Lions won't have been played yet, so they can still get him, or they can still reach out to him, just like everybody else is going to probably try to reach out to him. If they draft a kicker, that's cool. I never, shoot down drafting a kicker. Hey, I mean, but at the same time, we've had plenty of discussions on Dan Campbell and his relationship with kickers. So, if you're gonna draft the kicker, I don't want him to waste a pick, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I've heard somebody say they had a rule like yours. Never draft a kicker because you can always find a kicker.
I was gonna say, if you told me that because the Lions love, well, I don't think it's specific to the Lions, but all I know is after the draft, the Lions will bring in a bunch of guys like they usually do. So if you bring in an undrafted free agent kicker, I would love that. But to draft a kicker, I'm gonna kind of say no to that because Dan Campbell isn't a big fan of kicking field goals, and Brad Holmes is good at finding talent. So I almost feel like that would be a wasted pick.
Maybe if he had a good kicker, he would kick the ball more. But the one thing I will say about Brad Holmes, as much as I love the guy, he sucks at free agency kickers.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so bad that I can't believe that it's just that he's bad at finding kickers because as you just said, somebody said they'll never draft a kicker because you could always find a kicker. That means that there are so many kickers out there, but we don't ever hear about the Lions bringing in guys and trying out guys. Badgley just hangs around. They had they started the year with Riley Patterson last year. They had Badgley. They got rid of him. They brought him back. I think they got rid of him again. Now they brought him back again. Like, I don't know. They just don't value kickers. That's all I can read into
it. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're just like fuck the kicker. But that's pretty much all I got, man. For me, if you guys like our picks, you know what I'm saying, or you got some other guys that you think that we should look at or look into, research, you know what I'm saying, we'll look into them. Leave it in the comments, like, subscribe. We've been looking at we look at your comments, and we'll definitely do some research if you think a guy that we should look at before the draft. Other than that, we will see you guys probably, what do you think, maybe second day of the draft?
Yeah, that'd be cool. So that'd be Friday. Yeah, I'd be definitely down with that.
Yeah. Maybe second day of the draft. We'll give you guys a reaction video, see if we were right about anything or we were completely off. But until then, you know what I'm saying? Peace.
Detroit!